So gray.
Hi everybody, this is Nate. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Helen for our heroes and villains. We're back on
Thank you.
track. I was traveling last week, so we're officially back on track. No more missing Tuesdays anymore. Promise. So
You do know that lying is a sin.
it's a white lie. So
Thanks for having me. This is always fun. I
oh,
always like doing this.
thanks for spending time with me.
Before we
So
start, before we
yeah,
start,
a
let
few
me
okay.
take over your show
Oh,
before we
please.
start, because he doesn't feel comfortable tooting his own horn. Anybody who doesn't know yet, Nate has created a beautiful magazine, and it really is beautiful. How do I do this? Let me show you the pictures. It's got, look at that. It's got a recipe for every sign. I did look at the pictures. I have to be honest, Nate, you're my friend and I don't lie. I'm never going to cook any of those recipes, but they look scrumptious. They look really, really good. Trifle. A trifle is a traditional Irish dessert, and my
Oh,
mother used to make it every Christmas, and I make it every Christmas, except not anymore because my children don't live here anymore. So I'm not going to cook. But it's layers. It's like a
yeah,
parfait
yes.
en français, parfait,
I'm
because
perfect. Yeah.
perfect. And you soak lady fingers. Do you know what lady fingers are?
Mhm.
Okay, they're like little spongy
Yes.
things. You soak them in coffee and liqueur,
Yes.
any kind of
Rum.
liquor.
Rum. I was doing that with rum.
I don't like rum. I don't use rum.
Oh,
I
really?
use Irish whiskey or
Oh, yeah,
brandy.
of course.
Yeah. And then you make layers and you can make them with anything. My mother used to put jam on the ladyfingers too. That's too sweet. I don't like that. But the Irish and the English are obsessed with desserts that have jam in them, like Bakewell tarts. Oh. Anyway, you make these layers of ladyfingers and fruit, and there's this wonderful custard that's a cooked custard called bird's custard. It's kind of vanilla custard that sets if you leave it long enough. And you make layers and then a lot of whipped cream because that's important. And you can put fruit. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what kind. You can do
Berries.
all peach
Yep.
or yeah, berries, whatever. And it's really good.
What
Probably the
great.
only dessert that I willingly eat that doesn't have chocolate and has fruit in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the
so the magazine.
yeah, and the biggest part of the magazine is my predictions for each sign using the tarot, and that's like developed here. But also you can watch that on my channel. There's a whole playlist of sign by sign predictions for 2026, about 15 minutes each.
This
Uh,
is what you and I were arguing about.
yes.
Yes, because, okay, so let me explain. It has a few little quizzes type things in it. And Nate made me take this little chart quiz thing a while back. He just asked me, did I do the quiz? And I guess I overlooked it because I was thinking we'd already done it. So we are going to administer the quiz to each other on our funny video today. So you'll want to come back and check on that.
On Helen's channel. And the this is in paper version. Of some of you who like the digital version, you can download. It's a downloadable version, and the download version is half price because there's no printing, no shipping. It's just electronic. But some people don't like reading on iPads, and yeah, it's not the same. And then another quick announcement. I promise this is the last one. Tomorrow we are going to be doing some mini readings for everyone who will show up using the Voices of the Whale Oracle. And that will be also a fundraiser for the Whale Trust. So 2 o'clock, um,
Beautiful.
2 o'clock tomorrow we'll be doing live readings, and we'll be using those cards. And if some of you feel like donating, that will go
2 o'clock.
to 2 o'clock Eastern. No,
Yeah, okay.
Pacific.
Listen.
I'm sorry. And that will be just helping the Well Trust. And even if you attend, YouTube will give some of the ads money or whatever to the Well Trust. So it's even your participation helps, even if you don't donate or cannot afford or prefer to donate to another charity, which I would understand perfectly. So we'll be there, but we'll do doing those mini readings, the two of us. So now that we've kind of took care of logistics, let's get started with our heroes and villains. What do you want to start with?
Oh, I only have 2 heroes and I have 3 villains. So let's start with the villains and get them over with. How does that sound?
Okay.
So the first villain I have is kind of a group villainry. uh, ICE, Department of Homeland Security, uh, Customs and Border Patrol, and specifically Gregory Bovino. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I just uploaded a video about this specifically, and I was very careful about the title. So the title does not mention any of these things by name. It's called Are We Living in the Past? And it was uploaded this morning. And I really recommend watching it because I think it's revelatory. It's scary. I don't know if people have been paying attention to what's going on around this country, but it's just unbelievable. So yes, the loss of personal rights, the threat of being scooped off the street by masked, unidentified individuals who, by the way, are dressed up in camouflage like they're fighting some kind of war somewhere. They don't blend in. I don't know why they're wearing camouflage like that because it does nothing to hide
Oh.
them. It's an intimidation tactic. And this is really bad. They are villains.
And you were talking about ICE and the fact that some of the ICE people were replaced by CBP agents.
Yeah, people need to go listen to that other video I made because it's a complicated story and it's chilling. And I draw connections between what's going on today and what happened in the past, not just with the Gestapo and the SS and the brown shirts, but with the KGB and with Iran's secret police, Sabak, and the Stasi in East Germany. This is not a new phenomenon. This is new to the United States and to open our eyes.
Good. Who else do you have as a villain?
Congress. Why? 40% of the American children, honest to God, look this up, 40% of American children receive food assistance, which is now ended, or a minimal amount because somebody twisted their arms to get them to do it. Congress is getting full pay and they're at home doing nothing. Nothing. And, they've been in session how many days this year? At least more than 150, right? And how many days have they actually worked? Like 16 or something?
Oh, that low?
Yeah, that was last week. So we know they haven't done anything since then, but that
No.
was last week that I read that. Yeah.
Someone actually mentioned to me on my channel, I thought about 32% of SNAP benefit were to children, and I heard like it can get all the way to 80%.
Yeah, it's much higher than that. SNAP itself is a program that's given, to the adult. And the children are the ones who are needing the food,
Benefit
right?
as
Right,
well.
yeah. But
Yeah.
there's also Women, Infants, and Children, which is a great program. I've known many, many personal friends who've been on that program. It services pregnant women and women with newborns up to, I think, a year, maybe 2. It provides prenatal care. it provides food so that if you're poor and you're pregnant, your child is being fed, right? And it provides after the baby is born, if you need diapers, if you need formula and immunizations and neonatal checkups. And it is a lifeline for a lot of women who are in financial straits when they are pregnant and have newborns. And it's a lot of women.
Yeah, for sure. Who else do you have as a villain?
Amazon, UPS, and in general, corporate investors. They're, oh, we hate to take away jobs, and we're so sorry. And why are they doing it? To make a bigger profit for their corporate investors.
I mean, Amazon, we hear a lot of the 14,000 jobs. I hate to say it's not 14,000. Look it up. It's 500,000
Yeah, I was shocked when
for
you
the
wrote
next
that.
few years. It's 500,000
They just
jobs.
started with 15,000.
14,000 is nothing,
Yeah,
is a drop in the bucket because of AI and because
and
of
robots.
automation. UPS, this is scary. And also, UPS is very unionized as opposed to FedEx. So this is also hurting unions.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable talking about the Amazon mistake that happened to you? The
Well,
package?
well, that was a mistake that I had. I was actually sending a copy of this book, Voice of the Oracles. That's the book that goes with the cards. And I sent it to Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, and she didn't get the book. She got something, it was a medical equipment, a
I think
medical
you
bag.
should just say what it was. I mean,
Yes,
it's
an
nothing,
ostomy bag. And
an
so,
ostomy bag instead
bag.
of the book.
And so that was a big mistake or
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something.
My
And
husband, my husband's comment was, and he's kind of avoids conflict, so he wouldn't jump to the kind of conclusion I would, which was it's intentional. And he listened to what I had to say, listened to what happened to Nate's package, and he said, "Oh, must have been one of those 15,000 people who just got fired." His parting shot.
I mean, yes, of course, errors can happen, but it's so automated that it's very rare and it was very odd. And so, yeah, that was had nothing to do with it. A book versus an ostomy bag. Um, all right, so what do you want to read on?
Well,
What
you
you
know
have?
how worried I am. I want to read on this presence of paramilitary bully boys, anonymous bully boys in the street. How much worse is this going to get?
ICE and the CBP. What can you tell us about ICE and the CBP? Oh my goodness. It starts with the tower,
Oh my God.
then the Two of Wands. There's some planning here. Like, I think this is being reevaluated and something new is coming. I almost get the sense like they're trying to transform ICE. And that's what you were talking earlier.
That's
There's some,
exactly what that was. That the Page of Wands you got?
the magician, something
Oh,
new comes
okay.
out of it. I get the sense like they're evaluating how ICE is functioning. There's tons of problems, and they're gonna come with like a new revisited organization. That's the feeling that I have. It's like it's not quite working, and we know there's so many issues, and they're gonna try to fix the issues.
Well, it's not working to the specifications of Stephen Miller, who wants
Yeah,
them arresting 3,000 people and deporting 3,000 people a day. And because that hasn't been working in a nutshell, I don't want to go into all the details here. It's in the other video. But in a nutshell, they're moving people out of ICE and putting people from Border Patrol into ICE leadership because they know that they're worse. Worse meaning meaner, tougher. They'll take orders. That's the new plan. The Page of Wands. We're going to be on the defensive. This is terrible. This is going to do great damage in the streets of this country. They are the crusaders without a heart. That's what this card says to me, the Knight of Cups reversed. And Temperance, this is the priorities of the government in this country are completely out of balance, completely not within the scope of any kind of karmic balance. This is really, really bad. And then finally, I get the World. It's a cyclical thing. You know, that correlation that I'm drawing in my other video between what's going on here and what happened in the past with other police, militia. That's what this is. It's this not an inability to learn from history.
Yeah, we know that we're going to have to live with that at least until the midterms. I personally feel like after the midterms, it's going to be revisited. I really believe that. But until then, my villains, and I'm very sorry to start with this person, but I have to.
I know what you're
I'm
going to
very
say.
sorry. Bernie Sanders. I never thought he would be on the list. And the reason is that, of course, this is not a blanket statement, but he praised Trump. He did praise.
Do you think it was justified? What was he talking about? I didn't see
about,
it.
He said he did a fantastic job, a better job than Biden for the border.
What did he mean?
Well, I think, and that's also upset me because I think what was implied is what Biden's plan was letting everyone in. All those, exactly what Trump says, like those terrorists or prisons or mental institute, this whole rhetoric.
But that, you know what? That's not true. And
That's
I'll tell
not
you,
true.
I just researched this.
That's not true. But I don't know why Bernie Sanders went there. That went completely off track.
Biden deported more people than Trump has.
And I don't even know if that's a good thing.
Well, the good part is, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just looking at both aspects of it. The good part of it is that when these people were deported, they got due process. They had an attorney. They got their time in court. Their record was looked at, and they had to have a substantial criminal background in order, it had to be proven, right? American citizens are being scooped up off the street and put in detention and moved from place to place so that their families can't find them. They can't get an attorney because nobody knows where they are. And they're citizens. There's a video on YouTube right now of a woman who happens, this is great, and this is, talk about karma. She happens to be a paralegal in a law firm.
Oh.
She was on her way to work, and ICE or Border Patrol, whoever, were chasing somebody and made an illegal U-turn. And when they did, they hit her car. It's all on video because somebody was videoing ICE, and they got the whole car accident on video. And 100% she was minding her own business, going to work. They pulled around and hit her. They then jumped out of their car with guns prominent, hauled her out by her legs with her screaming, "What are you doing? And all these people you can hear on the video are going, "You hit her. You caused the accident. You hit her." Yeah. They just were brutal. And they dragged this woman and threw her in a van, an unmarked van. They're all unidentified. Their faces are covered, big guns, and drove off with her. Nobody could find her. Nobody knew where she was. As it so happens, she works for a law firm. She got out. God, you know her boss stepped in, right?
Of
And
course.
she said, I am going to get justice for this.
Wow. So, I mean, back to sorry, Bernie, that is unforgivable.
Yeah, yeah,
Unforgivable, especially in this time. Like, what?
I know.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, like, not good. Next villain, Dick Cheney. I know that's not really nice. That's the day of his passing, but I mean, come on.
War criminal.
It's like bringing us back to the Bush years, and
War criminal.
it's yeah.
Let's talk about weapons of mass destruction.
Distractions. I mean, there's just and then the hunting trips and whatnot. Um, Last but not least, that's kind of a fun one. Daylight savings time as a villain.
No
I think
kidding.
that qualifies. That qualifies. Can we just stop this nonsense? I cannot tell you how complicated that is for me, working a lot with the US. Changing time a week before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Already,
stupid.
it's already a nightmare to adjust time zones. But add the complexity of a year, an extra hour, it's just a huge mess. At least now we're on the same savings time zone, but
Yeah,
why?
no, you're right. I think that originally, now I could be totally wrong about this, so I might be making this up, but originally it was established, I think, for the purposes of train travel. And I don't understand why that would make a difference. I don't understand any of it. I'm not smart enough to understand why we do it, how it works. Every single time I make an appointment with somebody that's not in my time zone, I have to calculate. I have to get the phone to calculate it. it just it's awful.
And I thought that was to save electricity because of the daylight.
Why can't we just all be on the same time? And for some people, oh, in Alaska, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's dark. Who cares? Why don't we just all be on the same time zone in the world?
Or not change daylight.
Ever. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no, we cannot not have time zone because day and night are just, I think people that just doesn't work.
Just
But
call it something different when you're somewhere else. Noon in Europe, certain parts of Europe, it's dark. just
well, in
who
Iceland,
cares?
I mean, yes. Let's read on that actually. Will they ever end? Because I think it's being talked about. It's not good for health. It's not good for animals. It's animals have a hard time dealing with this.
Because they can't tell time,
The bio clock.
but they can't tell time.
No, but the like if you are in a farm, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you see the activity in the farm at different times, and for the animals,
Oh,
it
okay,
disturbs them.
okay,
And
okay.
then for us too, it disturbs. I mean, like for me, it takes a whole week to get adjusted.
I'm just always confused. I'm always assuming it's a different time based on the light.
And it's dark. It's dark so quickly.
Welcome to my life.
Okay, so will they stop this nonsense of daylight saving time?
You're gonna laugh when you see what I got.
Go for it.
I got the sun, and I got the fool, and I think they're gonna stop. I do think. I think
Yes.
that yeah.
Is that the nine of wands? I got the nine of wands too.
Oh well, see, that's promising. That's very
And then a new
promising.
beginning with the magician.
Okay, good.
Oh, I think in Europe there's a discussion about it in 2027. And they are gonna discuss probably stopping this
They're
madness.
not talking about that as much here because we have our own problems. that are
There's bigger
distracting us.
issues than I know. Moving to heroes, I'm continuing on. First hero, Mondani, because regardless of what happens today, is already a hero.
Very brave, I think.
A fantastic campaign. Um,
You know what
Bravo.
he's an example of? He's an example of a word that doesn't get enough use because you don't see a lot of it. Equanimity. Like people fire these insults at him and they go
Yeah,
over his
so
head and,
good. The campaign was fantastic.
yeah.
The second hero, food banks, more than ever. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and so they need to be thanked and recognized. And then I spent a lot of time criticizing AI, but we have to also recognize the good that comes with AI. There's a tool called Scorpio, and it's being developed that predict tumor response to treatment, cancer treatment, and even forecast patients' survival more accurately. And so, with the science, they're able to tune in better treatments to attack those tumors. We cannot say that's a bad thing.
I'm allowing you your moment of happiness.
We cannot say
Okay.
it's a bad thing.
Do you remember the United Healthcare executive who died tragically?
Yes.
Okay. One of the motivations, apparently, is
Yes.
because they were using AI to allow or not allow
To
people
deny claim.
coverage, and 90% were kicked off and denied because of AI. I
And
don't know if
that,
I wouldn't
well,
trust it.
that's a very good example because that talks about AI doing some administrative work. But here we're talking about a scientific, it's
Right, I
almost
understand.
using
Yeah, yeah,
science looking at a biological piece and
right.
trying to understand how this being of a tumor will evolve. So it's nothing else but just using science. So that's
Yes,
a
but
very
have they
different.
done studies to evaluate the results? Do we know yet how accurate they've been?
Well, that's why it's being developed and
Oh,
looked at.
okay. Okay.
But it is true, like a lot of AI tools are being developed as diagnostics tools or to help doctors. And so we cannot really, it's just basically science at this point. But yeah, there is an AI component that we can be nervous about. I am nervous about AI. I actually don't like AI in a number of areas and reason. We
Yeah.
just talked about Amazon killing 500,000 jobs. Why do you think they're gonna kill those jobs? Because of AI.
Hmm. Yeah, and I hope that the medical AI is more accurate than the AI that answers the phone and
Well,
puts you through
there.
circles of hell.
But I mean, if AI can help in cancer treatment, we welcome AI. That was my point. Is like if
I know. I have to burst your bubble.
yeah, I know.
I'm just torturing you.
So okay, so let's read on. I don't know. It's like three different topics, very different topics. What do you want to read on? Mondani, the food banks, or AI and science?
I think the most impactful, critical thing right now is the food banks.
Of course. So
40% of American
my
children are going to
question:
go hungry.
will the food banks able to keep up with the needs? Oh, I like this card. Wow. Very interesting
Oh, they
cards.
didn't shuffle right. I'm getting all the same cards I got before, which
Very
are good. They're
okay.
good, but
First card is the star. So that's like a good feeling that they're there to help and they will continue to help people. Ten of Swords, but they're against really, really hard constraints here. They're going to be as good as what they get. But look at that, the King of Cups. There are some people stepping in to support the food banks. Could be states, blue states. Look at the color here. Could be some companies that actually have ethics and want to help others. There could be private donors with money, but there's some help. But clearly, they're going to a huge transformation. But yes, I feel like they will play, and they have played, and will continue to play a huge role. Huge role.
Let me see what I got. So first I got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. They're being denied resources, but they're going to stand strong.
Yes.
I also got the Ten of Swords. And I also got the King of Cups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did your interpretation is somewhat different than mine?
Well, I think it talks about the strength of the American people. I think that Americans, I'll tell you what I was thinking when I was shuffling. I was remembering something that my parents used to say all the time as immigrants. They used to say that they were endlessly, pleasantly impressed with Americans as a country, with the generosity of Americans. When people were in trouble, so many
Yeah,
people
so
offered to
true.
help in so many ways.
So
That's not
true.
all that common everywhere in the world. And they were
No,
just, I can remember so often, and I always sort of filed it in the back of my head because they used to talk a lot about poor manners and that kind of thing. But they were really impressed about how generous Americans are. I think Americans are going to step up to help each other because at heart, we're compassionate and we're strong and we have political differences, but those have been forced on us. You know,
um,
it's terrible.
in Europe, you don't see this amount of generosity from the individual people for a very simple reason. It's not like the people are not as generous, but we live in with stronger governments, stronger, we're not stronger in the sense that more powerful, but there's more reliance on the government.
Yeah,
Government,
more of a social
government
network. Yeah.
social, I mean, they're like
Yeah.
safety nets. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
completely
Mm-hmm.
different. And so when there's a tragedy, the mentality of people is to say, well, this should be the
It's okay. Yeah.
government's role to take
Yeah.
care of that. Where in the US, in opposition, you don't have as much as a safety net from the government.
Right.
People have more of a history of helping each other, which is
Right.
beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of Americans, excuse me, most Americans have internalized that concept of we the people.
Yeah.
People feel very strongly that
Yes.
we are a united group and that the people together are a force to be reckoned with and we depend on each other. And there's so much divisive nonsense being talked about, not that it doesn't exist, but people are forgetting that really we are united and do support each other. So I do think that there's hope that people will take care of each other, but the government needs to do what it needs to do.
It's exactly that. We were talking a little bit about like GoFundMe as a platform. Well, I'll tell you my view of it. Sometimes, sadly, I had some friends that had GoFundMes because they have huge hospital bills. And so I've always supported, but every time I support it, it makes me mad. It's like, why why are they in a situation where we need to require, this is not right. You see what
Yeah,
I
it
mean?
brings us back to our AI discussion of insurance healthcare not being accessible because the rich want to be richer. They want to deny people coverage and
So
care.
then
That's
people
why.
have those huge hospital bills. So I donate, but it makes me mad to donate,
Yeah,
not because I donate, but it just feels wrong that this should be covered.
I agree. You're mad at the values that are being
Yes,
expressed
like it
of the
shouldn't, people
lack of
should
care.
have to
Yeah,
do that. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
No, I hear you. I hear
Okay.
you.
What about your hero or heroes?
God, I'm telling you, I was scraping this year.
It
I mean,
was
this week.
hard. It was very hard for me.
I know I've said this before last week or the week before. I talked about New Mexico, the state of New Mexico. And I just really want to reiterate about that because they did vote this last week, or they signed the bill. Some government technicality brought into being they free childcare for everybody in New Mexico, no
Wonderful.
questions asked. And if they can do it, what is wrong with the other 49 states? So good for you, New Mexico. You're a shining example of having your priorities in the right place. And then my second hero is Judge Sarah Ellis, who is the judge in the case against the brutality of what's going on with ICE, the Department of
Ah,
Justice, Homeland Security, ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, and specifically the guy that they have put in charge, who's now the face of the program, and he looks like he stepped right out of Central Casting as a Gestapo agent. You
oh
see
my
his
God.
picture; it's really scary. Gregory Bavino, and she has stood up to him and she's required him to explain himself, and he's being sued. Well, the whole mess of all of them are being sued, not him only, not him specifically, being sued by a group of media from Chicago, from Illinois, like the Chicago newspaper and this newspaper and that newspaper, because of the way that ordinary civilians and the media have been journalists on the ground, on the street, how they've been treated with just unnecessary violence and brutality. This guy who's been put in charge is on video lobbing a canister of tear gas into just a group of ordinary people standing on the sidewalk.
Can he be worse than Tom Oman? Hoffman or Oman, whatever his name is?
Yes. You notice you haven't heard much about Tom Homan in the past couple of weeks? He's being
Well,
pushed
no,
out by this guy.
well,
This guy.
because also he's under investigation for
Mhm,
corruption.
mhm. This guy is worse.
Oh my God. Okay, so what are we reading on? Like maybe let's just look at, if I may say, I'm curious to see if the other states will implement the child care. Will this be followed by other states for
Yeah, I think
child care?
that's a good question. Yeah.
Maybe not all the states, but at least other states, will they follow through on
Will
the
New
child?
Mexico be a role model? Right?
And in many ways, New Mexico is. Many
Yeah.
ways. Will other states do free childcare? God. Ah, whoa.
Scared me. I'm like,
No, it's
what?
extreme. It's very extreme, my reading.
Okay.
It starts with the Three of Swords. Nope, nope, nope. And then I get the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune. So it's almost like either you could read it two ways. Some states just gonna push back and it's like no, and some states are gonna go forward. Or it's on stop right now, but there will be a moment where it will take off. So
They don't want to do it, but the pressure,
no, you don't want to do this.
which is so what? Why not? It doesn't make any kind of logical sense. So
No,
I thought the Hermit. I think it's
which
going
is
to
a
make them
no.
stop and think. They're going to stop and think and reevaluate, reluctantly, perhaps. But then I love this card. Motherhood, pregnancy, right? I
That's
think,
right.
yeah, it's a positive. I think they're going to be shamed into it,
Well,
which
that's
is
good.
weird because they have no shame.
Well, I'm glad we're ending on a nicer note. Thank you, Ellen, for being here. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for watching. We really like your comments, particularly if you want to share with us who are your heroes, who are your villains at the moment. We really need to know that. And maybe this will inspire us for next week. So thank you for
Yeah,
watching, and thank you for being my
thanks.
co-host for the show.
Always a pleasure.
And everyone, go check Helen's channel as well. And we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna beg everybody to watch that video. It's called "Are We Reliving the Past?" And my red lights and sirens are going off about this topic. Just really important. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.